G'day guys, this is Evan from Unsealed 4x4 and I'm here with Ben from Drivetech 4x4. And if you've been following the project, you would have known that things are really starting to progress with Project Rusty. We have some new Toyo tyres on the vehicle, so we're one step closer to being roadworthy. But if there's one thing holding it back, it's pretty much, well, apart from the rust, the general mechanical condition of the vehicle. We're unsure of it, so a full service is going to be required. So we're going to give it a really detailed service today, just to make sure everything's tip-top. Now Ben, can you just run me through some of the products you've brought down that are going to enhance Project Rusty and keep it on the tracks for a couple more years?
All right, we've got a few basic service items. Obviously we had the car on the hoist a couple of weeks ago and there's a whole lot more stuff that needs to be done, a bit more intense stuff. But what we've got here today is just some general items to get us safe and on the road. And so it includes a filter service kit, which has got your air, oil and fuel filters. We've also got all the O-rings and clips and everything that you need to do that job. We've got the drive belt. We've also got the top and bottom hose, because the ones in the vehicle are really spongy and they've definitely got to be replaced right away. So while we're doing that, we'll also do the coolant and the oil.
Well, it's not going to do it itself. What do you reckon we get it up on the hoist and get started?
Let's get into it.
Done. So one of the easiest things you can do on any of your vehicles you own is check and change the air filter when required. In this case, just need to pop these clips off. That one's seen some hard use. It's seen better days, that's for sure. So we'll pop a new one in and that's going to help the engine breathe a lot more efficiently. As Ben mentioned earlier, these radiator hoses are looking pretty crusty. So we're just going to change the top and bottom radiator hose just to make sure we're giving this car a fighting chance to stay cool when the going gets tough. One of the most important components of your vehicle is your engine. Now to look after that best, you need to regularly replace the oil inside. Now to do that, there's this little nut here that comes out from the sump, and that effectively will let the oil drain out from the vehicle into a bucket down below. So let's see if we can get this off. Now with the 76 series here, you actually need a special tool to get the oil filter out. Most cars just have a screw-on disposable cartridge that goes on and off, but we had to borrow a specialist tool to get this out. You just have to twist that out of the way. Fairly safe to say that that needs to be replaced. Here's our new oil filter that we've got from Drivetech 4x4. Not hard to see the difference, is it? Now a really good tip if you're going to be changing your diffs and your gearbox oil is to make sure you take out your filler plug before you drain the oil out, because otherwise if you can't get that filler plug back in, you're not going to be able to get oil back in. I think it's safe to say that nothing else in this world smells as bad as diff oil, by the way. So we pulled the drain plug out of the rear diff, and as you can see, this magnetic plug has caught a lot of sludge and metal shavings, which is not really what you want to see. It's also very black, which is not what you want to see. It's not too bad, but it definitely needed to be done. And these diffs are going to be fully rebuilt before too long anyway, so not too much of a concern, but if you had this at your own vehicle at home, you might be a little bit worried. So we've dropped the engine oil, now we just need to fill it back up. So some people make the mistake of putting water in here, you obviously need to put oil in here. So it's just a case of simply removing the cap, have a bit of a look under there to see if there's any residue or any white, milky sort of oil, which indicates you've probably got a head problem. That looks pretty clean. So we're just going to fill that up. This vehicle, I believe, takes around 8.5 litres. So you'll pay to check for your own car on the right type, grade, and how much oil you're actually going to need. Right, we've changed the top and bottom radiator hoses because, as mentioned, they were just beyond use, they were crusty. So now we need to top up the coolant in the system. It still looks quite good, this coolant, so we're going to be able to just top it back up via this reservoir in here. Just take the cap off, fill it back up until a level where it says full. Now, how do you know when you need to replace your belts? Quite simply, if you can twist them, push them and see any visible cracking, any signs of wear, it's time to change it, because on a vehicle such as this with only one drive belt, if this snaps, you're finished. Your car's not going anywhere. All right, so with all that work underway and finished, all that's left to do now is fire her up and see if she's running a little bit sweeter than before. Well, it's been a big day on the tools. I think we got a lot achieved there. And it must be said that all the parts you supplied, they fit like a dream. So that's been really, really good to work with you on that, Ben.
No dramas at all.
What do you reckon's next, though?
Look, I think at least now it's drivable and it's safe to drive. We're not going to blow anything up. It's got some fresh oil and everything in the car.
Yep.
I think we'll get stuck into the drivetrain and axle and front diffs, obviously suspect. And
there was a bit of a dodgy uni joint there too, I noticed,
yeah,
so we'll have to look into that.
Gone and the pinion bearing. There's a few other little bits down there which I think we should get onto pretty much straight away. So at least the first step's done.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much for your help, and
no worries at all.
No doubt I'll see you soon.
You will. Thanks,
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.